Which one surprised you then, out of all of it?
Okay, so a couple things surprised me. Kirk Cousins moved up some. Like, I know it's just over the border into tier 2, but I was kind of thinking, don't we know everything there is to know about Kirk Cousins? Why would there be a little bit of a positive shift? Are people over-reading into the fact that they won a bunch of close games? And then I looked and saw, that he had 8 fourth-quarter comeback drives, which is tied for the most of anyone in a season since 1960. The other one is, I thought the talk on Kyler Murray was more positive than I was expecting. I mean, he took a little bit of a hit to the top of tier 3, but for someone who's been really openly trashed, whether it's Patrick Peterson or just some of the whispers that have come out of there or the clause in his contract, the guys that I talked to weren't overly down on him and actually made some kind of contextualizing or even some excuses for him. That surprised me a little bit for him, so we'll see. I don't know what he can do this year, but those were a couple things that stood out to me.
All right. Can you put a little bit more meat on those bones about excuses or about caping for Kyler?
Yep.
Mike?
Yeah, so 2 of them. One, I included 2 of them in there, and one of them was the idea that, okay, not very long ago this was a playoff team, and you can't find any reason but him why it was. It wasn't like they had this great coaching staff. Like they have some other places. They didn't have the offensive line like they have in Philly or whatever. They didn't have a great defense. They didn't have a run game. It wasn't just DeAndre Hopkins. So giving him the credit for whatever success that they've had while pointing to, I think since then, a lot of things in that organization look especially bad. So maybe relative to all that, Kyler Murray not necessarily the driver of failure to the degree that he was made out to be. And the other one was weird to me. But notable enough to put in there, the idea that you have this kind of immature player coming in of kind of a new generation, and the fact that he was paired with some really good veteran receivers, including Kurt Warner, like Larry Fitzgerald or DeAndre Hopkins, made it maybe harder for him, made it more fatal for him when he made a bad initial impression as an immature guy. It's hard to win over a Fitz. It's hard to maybe win over some of these top achievers who played with good quarterbacks. I thought that was, I don't know that I agree, but I certainly wouldn't have thought of that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to hear that there are some people who feel that Murray has the, I guess, fortitude that, for the lack of a better phrase, that others were saying he didn't. The fortitude to take criticism or grow or mature or get better, despite obviously him being hurt. I fear he's about to go through some things, Mike, because if you take a look at the Cardinals' first few weeks of their schedule, there are some games, certainly if Colt McCoy has an off day, the defense might not, have a good day. They have some major problems on that schedule, and that if Murray, say, is still not 100% by week 6, week 7, do you just hold him out? And
I agree.
And then suddenly Caleb Williams is sitting there. This is a real possibility, Mike.
It completely is. They have given themselves options. I thought Monty Ossenford did a great job in the draft. They have picks, and then their own could be really high. And all Kyler can do is try to impress them with his off the field. If he does come back, he's not going to be 100%, the dynamic guy that he was, right? Being able to outrun everybody. He's going to look a little tentative. There's no way this year at any point Kyler Murray's going to look his best, right? We can agree on that. He can impress them in the classroom. He can learn the offense. He can be the team guy. But that only goes so far if you have that top pick with a new regime that maybe wants a fresh start and wants to change some of the narratives that have built up around Murray and the whole organization. I think it's a fascinating place where all those things are on the table, and we're going to be talking about it a lot in the second half of the season.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.